Stance on supreme power. What is important to understand is that it is written that the people do have authority to instruct and regulate all government, so that it does not matter what man or woman we hire as our government servants, as much as it matters that we do control all of them. So, if they call themselves and associate themselves with the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, the Independent Party, or anything at all, it doesn't matter as much as it does matter that we control all of them. We have the written authority that all government servants signed in full agreement, that we can make sure that they abide by the contract, constitutions, compact, trust, indenture, because that is what it is. All of those things. If they fail to comply with every term, then we can have them removed for being inadequate and in maladministration, in the least. We can have them prosecuted for treason on the testimony of two people testifying to the same overt act. Here it is. You can find this in Ballotpedia. Okay, you can find it in Ballotpedia. You can go to Article 1, Alabama Constitution. You can read for yourself. Click on the link, go Ballotpedia, Alabama Constitution, and find this, Section 18, Treason Against the State. And I quote, that treason against the state shall consist only in levying war against it, or adhering to its enemies, giving them aid and comfort, and that no person shall be convicted of treason except on the testimony of two witnesses to the same overt act, or his own confession in open court. Here it is. You can click on the link. When we learn that our government servants engage in conduct that is contrary to the terms in the contract, that we can send them notices of the highest authority because they are written by the people. We, the people, have the highest authority, which have all political power and have the highest authority over all government, and demand that they stop conducting themselves unlawfully and return to complying to the terms of the contract and return to doing our will only, as it is the term in the contract that they do our will only and never, ever their will. And I'm going to show you here. Here it is again. Do you see it? It's a web page. There it is. It's Ballotpedia. Do you see that? Here's Ballotpedia. Let me show you. Hold on. See right here? There it is. Look at. You can read that. Let me see. Put it lower. You can see that Ballotpedia/article. And you can see that it's a web page. So I'm not making this up. This is what I'm reading. I'm getting this from what I am reading in the actual sources. All right. You can also go to the legislature, and they're supposed to have our constitutions on there. But if you notice, they will not be easily accessible, and then you'll have to click 1,000 things just to get some information, right? So, well, I'm exaggerating that it's 1,000 things, but it feels that way. Okay, here it is. And I'll read it again. Section 18, Treason Against the State. And remember, our founding fathers, they wrote this. They wrote this because they didn't want to be under any more tyrants like they did when they were under the foot and under the boot of the king overseas. They didn't want that to happen again. They were no dummies, and they didn't want it to happen to themselves, and they didn't want it to happen to their families, their future posterity. So they wrote this in, making it very easy for us to make sure that we have good, faithful servants working for us, serving us, doing our will only. And if we realized and we saw and we knew that they were not doing it, we can easily get rid of them by removing their authority and them losing their seat of office, because we do everything lawfully. So don't misunderstand my words. There is no violence here at all. We do everything lawfully with the written law, the highest law. It says here, Section 18, treason against the state. And I quote, that treason against the state shall consist only in levying war against it. Or, look at the or adhering to its enemies, giving them aid and comfort, and that no person shall be convicted of treason except on the testimony of 2 witnesses to the same overt act, or his own confession in open court. That's what it says. I didn't write this. I didn't make it up. There it is. Look at this. You can see that it's Ballotpedia. Hello, Ballotpedia. There, look at this. They have it written here. All right. One more thing. So let's see. I'll make sure I'm giving you what I need to give you. Here, I'm going to read this one. This is also Ballotpedia right here. You see that? It says this. Let's see. And I'm going to go to the top so you can see where I got it from. Look, this is Article 1, Alaska Constitution. You can see that. And you know, we already covered that no matter where, in what state you stand in, you have all your inherent rights. They never leave you. They're part of you. So no matter where you are, you have protection of your inherent rights, your individual rights. So here in Alaska, someone in Alaska has a certain protection, then so do you. You have certain rights, then so do you. So here it says this. I can go to a lot of different constitutions. This is the Alaska one. This is text of Section 2, source of government. Remember that? Source of government. And I quote, all political power is inherent in the people. All government originates with the people, is founded upon their will only, and is instituted solely for the good of the people as a whole. Remember, in this one, it will say as a whole, and yes, that is absolutely true. And it is also absolutely true that you have protections as individual, because you will see it in the other constitutions. And remember what we said, and we learned that they would have to be writing all sorts of words in the constitutions just to get us to have every little inch covered for our protection. So what they said is, oh my goodness, there would be so many things to do. And so they gave us the enumerated rights, saying that, yes, just because it's enumerated doesn't mean we don't have others also reserved, retained, accepted out. In other words, they can't touch them. We have others. And that is why you can explain it this way, explain it that way. This one explains, yes, we have it's solely for our good of the people as a whole. And yes, it's also for the good of the people as individual man and women, individuals, right? This man, that woman over there. Individuals. Your own inherent rights have to be protected by government. That is why they were hired. They swore to do that. And if they're there hired to protect your rights, why would it be lawful for them to be the ones attacking your rights, my rights? It is not lawful to attack our rights in any manner. They cannot do it, and they cannot hire others to do it. They can't do that. They don't have the authority. And if they act outside of that authority, they're outlaws. Doing it outside of the law. Okay, so that's that one. I'm going to get this over here for you. So if any of you find out that our government servants are prosecuting any other one of our servants, doesn't matter, 1, 2, 3 servants, if this group or that group of servants is prosecuting this one servant or a couple of servants or how many servants, and they're for performing and discharging their duties and obligations according to the terms of the contract and doing our will only, you, as one of the people, have the power to send them notices of the highest authority and demand that they stop immediately. And they have to stop. They have to stop. They are not authorized to use our money and our time and the seats of office that belong to us, that we let them use to serve us. They can't use any of that to attack a servant that is discharging the duties and obligations to us faithfully, that is doing our will. So we as the people have the full authority to correct all that nonsense because we can instruct them and we govern them. We are the masters. We control our government. They do not have any authority to do anything that's criminal, that is outside the law, and it's criminal to use our money, our buildings, our paperwork, our computers, our time, while they're working hired servants for us to benefit us. They cannot use all of that to attack a servant that's doing what he must do, what we hired him or her to do. They can't do that. That is treasonous activity. And if 2 of us give testimony about that same overt act, they can be prosecuted. They must be prosecuted for treason. We've seen it. You saw it. It makes sense to you, right? Yes, it makes sense. Okay, so here, once they receive those notices and they refuse to comply with the terms of the contract and obey our will only, then they are committing treason again, on top of treason and on top of treason, unashamedly, even when corrected and reminded of the terms in our constitutions. To our faces they do it because they were already committing treason when they failed to comply with all the terms in the trust indenture constitutions. They're already doing it. So all that is needed to prosecute is for 2 to testify, give testimony about that, right? But they're already doing it. And then if we give them notices to remind them, hey, you guys, you're not allowed to do that. Please stop. We're very nice, so we could say, please stop, or we could just say, stop. Because we are the masters, we are the bosses. And they can't run around doing things outside of the law, we can't do things outside of the law, the common law, and neither can they do things outside of the law that we write as law in our constitutions. So when you see them, you tell them if they don't want to listen to the notices of mercy, because these are merciful notices, reminding them, hey, buddy, you're doing something that's outside the law. Stop. Now, if they stop, then we can give them the benefit of the doubt that, oh my gosh, they didn't have the ability to recognize what the contract they swore to said, and we might be merciful because they're stopping right now, since we have to be like God and we're merciful. If they stop, okay, we can apply mercy in that case, in that scenario. If they insist on doing things outside of the law, then we don't have to have mercy. We will dispense what they wish for, which is justice. They prefer justice. We'll give them justice. They'll be prosecuted. They will have to defend themselves and provide evidence as proving that they did not commit treason, because we, the people, are saying, yes, you did. And we testify and we give them an affidavit saying so. Putting ourselves on the line saying, yes, you see, and then we can prove it. We prove it. They prove what they want to prove, and we prove what we want to prove. We show the evidence. Okay, let me reword that because it's not proving. Okay, so they show their evidence to support that they didn't commit treason. We show the evidence that they did commit treason. Now, based on the evidence, we will see who did what. who is telling the truth, who is lying. And when they don't do what is written inside our constitutions, that is treasonous activity. They were hired and they're supposed to be qualified and able to read. Do we ever want to hire people who absolutely they cannot read? Or people who just swear to something, swear to it, that they will support and defend our Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state where they work and all this, and they swear to it. And they don't know what in the world they're swearing to. Are they that reckless, careless? Would you just start swearing to something and you don't know what it is you're swearing to? And especially when you know you could be liable for that? Oh my goodness. They do it. So we can hold servants accountable for breach of trust, because remember this, our constitutions are a contract. It is a compact. It is a trust indenture, and you will see it because there are trustees. You can see it. I've shown it to you before. They are trustees, and they're trustees because it's a trust. It's a trust indenture. You'll see it. And we've already shown it to you in other videos. So we can hold them for that. And remember, we're not going to lie about anything. We're going to say only the truth of what we do, but we know what we do know. And we do know that we're sending a notice, and if they ignore this notice written by us, the people, then we know they're committing outright to our faces treason. And it was no accident. It was not accidental. We gave them an opportunity to read and go back to behaving themselves, conducting themselves lawfully, and they are refusing. So I hope they learn to do things right. I hope they listen to the notices we're sending out, and I'm going to read the notice in a minute. And then if you like what is in there, you agree what it says, then you can put your autograph, put your name on there and send it out with us. Okay, that is the law. All that I showed you in the Ballotpedia, that's the law. It says so right there. They have to do our will only. They can never do their will. All right, here, look. That is the highest law of our nation, and it was not taught to you by bad government servants so that you can easily be manipulated, harvested like farm animals, and destroyed. You see that happening. I can testify to that, and so can you. You can see what's happening. Do you not see how we're being invaded? There's a whole onslaught of people coming from all over the place into our nations and creating havoc, draining our money. All our money is going to provide them. Are you going to be the ones working and support the entire planet? And they don't get to support themselves? We have to support them while they just watch TV and come into our nation and get pregnant fast so that they can now say, well, I can't go to work. I have a baby. So are we going to do that? Just the whole entire planet, right? They're draining, they're endangering us, and they're draining us, and they're harming us, and they're not hired to harm us. They're hired to comply with the law that we wrote in the constitutions, and they're hired, and that which include doing our will, which include benefiting us in every possible way while they discharge their duties and obligations, and definitely keeping us safe, because it is not safe to have a border where everybody just goes in and out like it's happening. But you think for yourself. Here, the Alaska Constitution, we read this already. We see government, all political power, and I want to see it again since I have it here. And I highlight, you notice I highlight the word all? That means we have all political power. All of it. It's all political power is inherent in the people. All government originates with the people, is founded upon their will only, and is instituted solely for the good of the people as a whole. And I'll show you another one in a minute where it says it's also instituted for the good of the individual, of each one of us. And that's all of it is true. As a whole, yes, because we have rights as a whole. We want to be safe as a whole. And we also want to be safe individually, because maybe someone will be attacking. Right now, when they go across the border, they're attacking us as a whole because every single one of us is in peril, is in danger, that some human, a man or woman from another nation is going to come and harm us in one way or another, either financially harming us, making us have to pay more taxes, making our kids be in schools that are overcrowded with all these new people, and they can't, when they raise their hand, they cannot have the teacher's attention because the teacher's attention is spread throughout, and they have to correct all those papers and have all those seats and wait in line for the bathroom and all the food that we have to pay for all this food, and et cetera, and the medical bills, because we have to take care of people's health too when they come in here, just because they came in here. So now they come in here, okay, you guys have to pay. You guys that are in here, you have to pay for them. Wow. Yeah, that's harming us. So yes, as a whole, we're being harmed like that. But then also as individuals, someone could be harming us. One of the government servants could be harming someone directly, individually, and they have individual rights to be protected. They must be protected in their individual rights. Okay. So now I'm going to read to you a powerful notice written by the powerful people in this nation. I will read it in its entirety, and then I will explain a few more things after it. If you agree with what it says, please click on the link and put your autograph on the Jotform and make history showing that you recognize that you do have all political power and are one of the people, taking your place as masters of all government, as it was meant to be by our founding fathers in their endeavor to protect us from long ago to reach the ages to all posterity. Okie dokie, here I'm going to read you the notice. One more little second here. Here we go. Okay, this, you'll see it. It says alter, reform, abolish. All right. What's the title? It has a title. It says, The People's Notice and Demand of Awareness and Stance on Supreme Power. And let me click right here so you can have a better view. Can you see it better? Okay, let me click one more little thing. Click. Just so you can read it better. You can see it. I, one of the people, as seen in the 50 state constitutions, sui juris, do present you with this notice that you may provide immediate due care. Please take notice that the people have been awakened to their duty to assemble for the common good in order to instruct our servants as the agents and trustees of government. See evidence of trustee position below. Virginia Constitution, Bill of Rights, text of Section 2, People the source of power. That all power is vested in and consequently derived from the people. That magistrates are their trustees and servants, and at all times amenable to them. Please take notice that there was never a grant of government Please take notice that there was never a grant for government officials to have elections by other means than that which was prescribed by the constitutions of the people, and doing so is an attack on the rights of the people and dissolution of government. See evidence from John Locke's 2 treatises of government below. Section 216, 2 treatises of government. All right, here's what it says. Thirdly, when by the arbitrary power of the prince, the electors or ways of election are altered without the consent and contrary to the common interest of the people, there also the legislative is altered For if others than those whom the society hath authorized thereunto do choose, or in another way than what the society hath prescribed, those chosen are not the legislative appointed by the people. Please take notice that Locke, an authority in English law, claims that government is prohibited from carrying out elections in ways not laid out by the fundamental law by the people. It is therefore the guaranteed right of the people to seek redress for insurrections against their power and will. And please take notice that 2 of the people, as well as others from the 50 states assembled, guaranteed by state constitution and federal rights, ordered President Trump and other officials to investigate into these matters, as there was a widespread election irregularities witnessed by many people. And please take notice that Senator Karen Fann received over 100 affidavits and saw it fit to perform a full forensic audit by will of the people, though attorneys and other actors wished for her not to. And please take notice that the same affidavit that ordered Karen Fann to do an audit ordered President Trump to investigate and to seize all machines because government officials at one time ignored the will and right of the people to access their ballots and materials of the people's on elections. The people made claim that the government officials were acting in insurrection because they changed the ways of election and did other underhanded acts like take money from Facebook and changed election procedure without the foundational law allowing for such acts. And please take notice that President Trump is the servant of the people. And the people realize that whenever any government should be in the danger of maladministration, they have the power to reform, alter, or abolish government in such ways as may be deemed expedient. All federal officials have already swore to this absolute right because it stands as part of many of the state constitutions. See the evidence below. Virginia Constitution Bill of Rights, text of Section 3, government instituted for common benefit. That government is or ought to be instituted for the common benefit, protection, and security of the people, nation, or community. Of all the various modes and forms of government, that is best which is capable of producing the greatest degree of happiness and safety, and is most effectually secured against the danger of maladministration. And whenever any government shall be found inadequate or contrary to these purposes, a majority of the community hath an indubitable, inalienable, and indefeasible right to reform, alter, or abolish it in such manner as shall be judged most conducive to the public will. Georgia Constitution Bill of Rights, Section 2, text of paragraph 2, object of government. The people of this state have the inherent right of regulating their internal government. Government is instituted for the protection, security, and benefit of the people. And at all times they have the right to alter or reform the same, whenever the public good may require it. Missouri Constitution Bill of Rights, text of Section 3, powers of the people over internal affairs, constitution, and form of government. That the people of this state have the inherent, sole, and exclusive right to regulate the internal government and police thereof, and to alter and abolish their constitution and form of government whenever they may deem it necessary to their safety and happiness, provided such change be not repugnant to the Constitution of the United States. Please take final notice that we, the people, are in unison and understand that our servants are simply trustees and agents, and you have no power to carry out your own will, nor the will of any foreign interest. We, the people, therefore, put you on notice in the love of Christ, letting you know that the people notified President Trump of issues with elections after the 2020 elections. The people demanded him to obey the Constitution, Article 4, Section 4, and his own Executive Order 13848 by right. Therefore, prosecuting him for investigating, speaking about, or attempting to get to the bottom of all election issues is without good faith and maladministration on the part of all actors interfering with the people's contracts found in all state and federal constitutions. Please see the below maxim if you believe you have been granted authority to prosecute the people's servants who are obligated to follow their contract. Rebut this notice with a sworn affidavit under the penalty of perjury, showing where you have been granted these powers. Please respond within 7 days publicly, showing these powers, or you agree that you are attacking one of the people's servants with full knowledge, malice, and intent. And you understand the people have the guaranteed right to establish new government and constitutions where their safety and security can be attained, as the people learned of the wicked king at the founding of this free republican form of government. And as one of the people, it is my demand, wish, and order that all prosecutions over insurrection and like claims be immediately dismissed in the interest of justice. President Trump, as seen by the attached affidavit evidence, was compelled to obey his contract. Maxim: no guilt attaches to him who is compelled to obey. And this right here, this is the affidavit, one of the affidavits that was sent. This one is from Josh Barnett, and it was the address, his home address, of course, white it out so you don't bother the man. Do not bother him, please, or else you will be in deep trouble with the law. Okay, it was sent to Karen Fan, and this is her address, and she's fine, I guess, because I guess this is her office. Okay, this is it was 1700 West Washington, room 205. I think it says Providence, Arizona. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Let me make it just a wee bit bigger so I can read it for you and you could see it. Let's see, not too much bigger, but just here goes. Yes, Arizona 8500, okay, 003. Okay, here, Josh Barnett, claimant. And this is Arizona legislature, every member individually and all members collectively. Maricopa Board of Supervisors, Katie Hobbs, Secretary of State, respondents. Okay, and it says the title right here. This is it's about this. It's about notice of treason, notice of maladministration, demand for president to enforce, executive order number 13848 and all associated powers, notice of change in contract terms, notice of right to arbitration. Then it has a title. It says notice by affidavit, affidavit of treason. It says here, comes now affiant one of the people as seen in the Arizona Declaration of Rights, Article 2, Section 2, Arizona Constitution, sui juris, in this court of record, do make the following claims. And in writing, let me see if I can read it. An affidavit was already sent asking for independent forensic audit and the required, let me see, because I have very bad eyesight. The requested on that notice. Okay, my eyesight is not that good. Your eyesight must be better, but here's what it says. An affidavit was already sent asking for independent forensic audit, and they acquiesced on that notice. The legislature has been given notice that let me read it again. Okay, let me start again. I got my glasses. Let me see now, because my eyes are not that fantastic. Okay, in this writing it says, an affidavit was already sent asking for independent forensic audit, and they acquiesced on that notice. The legislature has been given, let me see, okay, here. My little, something had a pop up. I hate when they pop up. Let me start again. I had a little Facebook pop up. Okay, it says this. An affidavit was already sent asking for independent forensic audit, and they acquiesced on that notice. The legislature has been given notice that it not only requested an independent audit, but that they guarantee to me, as stated in Arizona Constitution, that only legal votes were counted. Arizona article, right? Article 2, Section 7, they failed to perform the independent forensic audit. They darn, I have some cats too, and they jumped on my lap. Here goes. I don't know why the Facebook and my cats are jumping on me, interrupting, but here goes. The legislature has been given notice that I not only requested an independent audit, but that they guarantee to me, as stated in Arizona Constitution, that only legal votes were counted. Arizona Article 7, Section 7, they failed to perform the independent forensic audit. They swore by oath that only legal votes are to be counted, and they cannot guarantee that without the audit. See, that's very clear when I get my cats out of the room. Okay, and the Facebook stopped sending me little, you saw that, right? Okay, here. Now I'm continuing. Please take notice that Article 7, Section 7, Arizona Constitution, it says, number 7, highest number of votes received as determinative of person elected. Section 7, in all elections held by the people in this state, the person or persons receiving the highest number of legal votes shall be declared elected. The Arizona Constitution clearly shows that out of the votes, scrutiny must be done to reduce them to legal votes. This is sworn to by all workers in the state as part of the agreement to work for the people of Arizona. The audit of the votes and systems is the right of the people to know all elections are equal and free. See constitutional provision below. Arizona Constitution, Article 2, Declaration of Rights. 21, free and equal elections. Section 21, all elections shall be free and equal, and no power, civil or military, shall at any time interfere to prevent the free exercise of the right of suffrage. Please take further notice that Arizona civil officers guarantee that they will not interfere with right of suffrage. Yet a civil court found election flipping and then decided to seal the evidence, which is necessary under Article 7, Section 7 of the Arizona Constitution, thus providing a foreign-owned company assistance in preventing the people from determining legal votes. Please take further notice that any attempt to prevent the people from having an independent audit immediately will be considered as a trespass and treason against the people if there are not constitutionally granted authority that the above public officials can present to rebut these claims. Please take further notice that there has been an insurrection by government workers to bypass the people's rights and block an audit of the machines, software, and processes used to certify an election as using only legal votes. Please take notice that you, President Donald Trump, are hereby ordered to bring justice by using all necessary powers you have to follow your oath as seen in the United States Constitution below. United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 4, and here's Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion, and on application of the legislature or of the executive, when the legislature cannot be convened, against domestic violence. Please take further notice that the people of Arizona hold all political power, and the legislature, governor, and public officers have been involved in maladministration and treasonous acts. Therefore, the people are demanding for you, President Donald Trump, to quash this insurrection and the theft of our republican form of government and invasion by government officials who have abandoned their oaths and are protecting a foreign enemy. Arizona Constitution, Declaration of Rights, Article 2, Section 2, Number 2, Political Power, Purpose of Government. Section 2. All political power is inherent in the people, and governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed, and are established to protect and maintain individual rights. Please take further notice that any denial of the protection and maintenance of the people's individual rights is maladministration, treason, and an insurrection. There it is. Let's see. This is an affidavit and contract and change of terms. Any man or woman who denies these claims are true must rebut them under penalty of perjury in the form of a sworn affidavit. Any man or woman who decides to suppress this affidavit agrees to pay $30,000 and any disputes by any public officials or private actors who are bound by contract to the Arizona Constitution, agrees to have these matters heard before an arbitrator of my choice. Any man or woman denying these claims are true must rebut these claims point by point within 3 days, 72 hours. Failure to respond means that by acquiescence you agree that all claims are true. Failing to respond with constitutional granted authority, which gave you the power to disregard the people's rights mentioned within this affidavit and contract, means that you agree to have this affidavit used against you as evidence of treason, insurrection, and maladministration. You further agree that once the 3-day time period is up, this affidavit becomes truth and law, and that all matters must be considered adjudged, and that no court has jurisdiction to rehear these matters, and that these witnesses against you shall be considered sufficient for conviction. Remedy shall be had by giving the people a full audit of every machine used for voting, all associated software, all evidence of any voting fraud, any evidence of dead voters, and any other voting-related items or information that may be necessary to carry out an independent audit. Of course, it has a verification. I hereby declare, certify, and state, pursuant to the penalties of perjury under the laws of the United States of America and by the provisions of Section 28 U.S.C. Section 1746, that all of the above and foregoing representations are true and correct to the best of my knowledge, information, and belief. Executed in Chandler, Arizona, on this 13th day of December in the year of our Lord 2020. Autograph of affiant Josh Barnett. Okay, Joshua Barnett. No, and then it has notary of jurat certificate. The state is Arizona, county is Maricopa. On this 13th day of December 2020, date before me, right? And it has Cortina M. Gill, a notary public, personally appeared. And then Joshua Barnett, name of affiant, who proved to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence to be the man whose name is subscribed to the within instrument, and acknowledged to me that he executed the same in his authorized capacity, and that by his autograph on the instrument the man executed the instrument. I certify under penalty of perjury under the lawful laws of Arizona State, and that the foregoing paragraph is true and correct. Witness my hand and official seal, signature of notary jurat. And there it is. It says Carolyn M. Gill. Carolyn M. Gill. And there's the stamp. All right, let's see what it says here. Okay, let me look. What does it say here? Maryland State Constitution, text of Article 1. Constitutional provision. Let's look at this. That all government of right originates from the people, is founded in compact only, and instituted solely for the good of the whole, and they have at all times the inalienable right to alter, reform, or abolish their form of government in such manner as they may deem expedient. Do my eyes play games? That is what it says. I see it there. That's what I read. To alter, reform, or abolish their form of government in such manner as they may deem expedient. Well, that's what it says. My eyes don't deceive me. Mercedes, Diego, vamos a aprender inglés. Vengan a leer esto conmigo. Mira, ¿qué dice aquí? Dice esto. Arkansas State Constitution, Article 2, text of Section 1.
source of power. All political power is inherent in the people, and government is instituted for their protection, security, and benefit. And they have the right to alter, reform, or abolish the same in such manner as they may think proper. Mira nada más, Diego, Mercedes, mira lo que dice esto. Esto jamás nos enseñaron en la escuela. ¡Qué barbaridad con estos del gobierno! ¿Qué se están pensando ellos? Tráeme las sandalias, tráeme las chanclas. Vamos, a corregirlos.
Do you really want to know what our government servants already swore to comply with? And they can't go back now? They've already gotten paid. Guess what? Missouri State Constitution, Article 1, text of Section 3. Powers of the people over internal affairs. Constitution and form of government. And I quote, that the people of this state have the inherent, sole, and exclusive right to regulate the internal government and police thereof, and to alter and abolish their constitution and form of government whenever they may deem it necessary to their safety and happiness, provided such change be not repugnant to the Constitution of the United States. End quote. Isn't that great news? They've already sworn, they agreed, they got paid. They're stuck. It's a done deal, guys. They have to comply with this.
Maryland State Constitution, text of Article 6, that all persons invested with the legislative or executive powers of government are the trustees of the public, and as such accountable for their conduct. Wherefore, whenever the ends of government are perverted and public liberty manifestly endangered, and all other means of redress are ineffectual, the people may and of right ought to reform the old or establish a new government. The doctrine of non-resistance against arbitrary power and oppression is absurd, slavish, and destructive of the good and happiness of mankind. Meow.
Virginia State Constitution, Article 1, text of Section 3. Government instituted for common benefit. And I quote, that government is or ought to be instituted for the common benefit, protection, and security of the people, nation, or community, of all the various modes and forms of government that is best, which is capable of producing the greatest degree of happiness and safety, and is most effectually secured against danger of maladministration. And whenever any government shall be found inadequate or contrary to these purposes, a majority of the community hath an indubitable, inalienable, and indefeasible right to reform, alter, or abolish it in such manner as shall be judged most conducive to the public will.